Welcome to Meet My Friends, the podcast. What was the one thing I was like, no, wait, save that for the podcast? What were we talking about? Not your threesome. What was it?
It was, well, I mean, that's where the drink came from. So I've like brought it over. That's where it's like, it didn't come from the threesome, but like it came from.
We were getting coffee and we were talking about, well, first I should probably like welcome you to the show before we just start yapping away.
You're like, we don't need a welcome. Just dive in.
Just dive right in. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Meet My Friends podcast. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today I have my friend Nick Estrada on the pod.
Hello.
This is my future Lavender marriage, even though he refuses to accept my proposal today.
Gaston.
One day, maybe it be political drama, maybe it be a post-apocalyptic world. One day he'll accept my proposal and be begging for me to marry him, even if it's to flee the country. And so I'm really excited to have you on the pod today and just like catch up, yap, whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of organized chaos.
And we started...
Stream of consciousness, organized chaos.
Probably. That's pretty much like you're hanging out in the room with us.
Yeah.
And we already started the day off right. We went to AMP, the best coffee shop in the world in the Valley.
Good.
And we got the new rose saffron latte. And then we went to there's a bakery. Well, it's a coffee shop on Vineland in North Hollywood. But to be honest, I'm not going to betray AMP's coffee because I don't think they're worth it. But La Rochelle on Vineland in North Hollywood has a baker. Her name is Catherine. And her pastries are like French patisserie quality. They're so good.
Very good, yeah.
It's the best.
Interesting.
The best baked goods in the Valley. Interesting.
Yeah.
You had a blueberry...
I had a blueberry cream cheese muffin, but it was not a muffin. It was like a croissant, like a flaky pastry, but in the form of a muffin. So if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it was so good and crunchy and crispy and light. And
I was just saying she really knows how to fold her butter. And I had an almond croissant because I love an almond croissant. I'm somewhat of an almond croissant connoisseur. And we met some personalities along the way.
We did, yes.
So while we were in AMP, there was this guy that came over, and he was
randomly
like asking for something from the barista, but he was lingering.
Out of nowhere. Like he was just like appeared and he needed change for the vending machine. And the barista girl was like to him, "Oh, is your band practicing today? Because like they've got these really cute little flirty girls that work there, and that's why we love them." Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my God, is your band practicing?" He's like, "Yeah, we are." And she's like, "Are you practicing for a show?" He's like, "We're just practicing. We don't really have something to practice for."
Like he didn't know what he was actually gonna be doing. He just plays and
they were just playing music.
Yeah. So it was,
and so which sounds normal, but then he goes, "We're actually from out of town." And I said, "Oh really? Like where are you from?" And then he like giggles and goes, "A faraway land." And I said, "Like a fairy tale?"
Yeah.
And then everyone like then he giggled some more and I was like, "Oh my God, who is this creature?" And then he was making eyes at Nick.
Yeah, we were like kind of making eyes back and forth and I was like, am I imagining this, or is he like looking at me? Am I looking at him? Or are we both looking at each other?
And then he pets my dogs. He's like lingering.
Yeah, and then he just like disappeared after, and I was like, who is this person with a kind of indistinct accent from far, far away?
From a
just
fairy
showed
tale.
up and then disappeared, you know?
It's just the world I live in.
Yeah.
This is just what happens on a daily basis. And then we went over to La Rochelle and we got our pastries. And then the guy, he's there all the time. He's so nice. Was working behind the counter, and Nick was having a moment with him too. And
Very
I'm just
nice
like,
guy, yeah.
You are flashing your flirty new wild oats everywhere.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Sad Boys t-shirt.
You're wearing your Sad Boys shirt, but you're newly single.
Yeah.
You're out on the town. Alex did allude in our last podcast that you went on a good date the other day.
I did hear that. I was like, it's kind of like a segue into this episode.
I don't know. It's just happening. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
And so you're out and dating and you're having a good time. And I love that. And I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. it's been nice like lately. So I feel a little lighter and just kind of like more myself now that I've not been in a relationship for a little bit. And
you're back into your routine and
yes,
stuff. Like,
exactly.
I feel like you really lost a lot of that structure.
Yeah.
When you were in your last thing. Yeah. And then we were talking about, you were literally like, and then I have to get parking permits because Pride is coming up. I'm like, literally, shut up. Do not say Pride is coming up because that means that we're like halfway through the year already.
Well, they started selling tickets for it.
I'm going to jump off the roof.
Literally like the day before this or like 2 days before this. So, yeah.
And do you know I haven't even heard anything about it. Who's performing?
It's Lizzo.
Ugh.
Is headlining, Lil Nas X.
Okay.
And Paris Hilton.
Is she like DJing?
What did it say on the flyer?
Is she going to sing Stars Are Blind or not? Because you can't come to Pride and not sing Stars Are Blind.
I would like her to maybe do a DJ set because that would be like just kind of entertaining to watch, but also filter in somehow a performance of Stars Are Blind with that and have somebody like maybe take over like the decks while she's doing that and then go back to doing it. So,
she's like Barbie. And
I'm thoroughly entertained by Paris Hilton.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think I feel like the order of preference of interest for those talents is like number 1, Paris Hilton, number 2, Lil Nas X, and number 3, Lizzo. Kim
Petras is also going to be there too.
What?
Yeah.
But Kim Petras goes a lot. I feel like she's there all the time. Am I wrong?
I don't know. She wasn't there last year. So.
No, she wasn't there last year, but I feel like her essence is always present.
Oh, well, because she's slut pop, So.
Yeah.
Pride essentially is slut
Kim
pop.
Petras is a pretty big pull. Is that all going to be in one night?
No, it's 2 nights. Well, it's 3 nights technically, but I don't know. I think Lizzo is going to be Saturday or Sunday, and then Lil Nas X is either going to be Saturday, Sunday headliner. So one of the two are going to be, the headliner for either one of those.
I don't want to go see Lizzo, but I also don't want to have FOMO if everyone's going. Maybe that's
my thing too, because like
maybe I'll just get like a GA ticket.
You need to go just regardless to have the experience of just hanging out with all your friends that are going to be there. I'm like, do I give in to peer pressure and just do this and bite the bullet, or do I just like watch everybody else have fun? Around me and just not do it. So,
what weekend is it?
It's the first weekend in June. So it's going into the first weekend, but I think it starts May 30th, 31st into June, whatever that weekend
Thank
is.
God, because I'm going to see Hugh Jackman do his one-man show at the Hollywood Bowl around my birthday.
Wait, he's doing Hollywood Bowl again?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to see him. And
he's doing his one-man show where he does like all his musical acts and everything.
Yeah, no, okay, I went to that like a couple of years ago with my mom.
Was it good?
Like, it was good. Yeah, she loves Hugh Jackman.
Same.
She's like obsessed with him.
We are so excited to buy all the merch. We're like, my sister and I are like, we're buying. I want a hoodie with Hugh Jackman's hat on it. I want a candle with Hugh Jackman's hat on it. I want a tote bag with
Hugh Jackman candle. Like it's like one of those like Saint candles.
Yes. I want to buy. I hope he has a packed merch stand because I'm going to be spending a fortune.
I was pleasantly surprised, honestly, because like I mean, I only know him from is like basically like kind of like X-Men and things of that nature, but also like when Les Mis came out.
Are you gay?
Well, yeah,
you only know him from
like,
X-Men? What?
I mean, that's kind of what I associate him with is like God. Wolverine, but like, I saw Les Mis and, I enjoyed him in that movie. I didn't necessarily enjoy other people in that film.
But I think my life could be.
So he did like a whole like Les Mis segment, which was like awesome. And he did.
I can't wait. I'm hoping Zac Efron comes out for The Greatest Showman. I'm hoping everyone comes out for The Greatest Showman and like the whole chorus is there, but I want Zac to come.
He did, I think, a song or two from that, but no.
Because what if Zac is there and then Dylan's
honestly,
in the audience and like
that
Dylan?
Would be amazing.
And that'll be where Dylan and I meet because like Dylan and I know that all these women want him right now, and I can wait a couple years till the heat is off him. Yeah. But I really think that Dylan and I are meant to like be together.
Does he or does he not shower daily?
That will decide if we stay together. Yeah. That'll like if he doesn't. It's unacceptable if someone doesn't shower every day. A man specifically, because men stink.
Not to get off topic of Pride, I was thinking about last night when we were working together and you saying unlocking a memory that was dusty in your head.
Oh yeah, what
did
you
were talking about Tiny Toons?
Oh yeah, Tiny Toons Adventures, that show.
I found out the name of the character that I liked was Go-Go Dodo.
Go-Go Dodo.
And he's from Wacky Land. And
I think I remember Wacky Land.
There are like other characters that go into Wacky Land.
Yes.
And it's literally like probably like what Adventure Time was back then when Tiny Toons was on.
I'm pulling up a picture of him right now. I gotta see Go-Go Dodo. Oh my god!
I kind of want to see.
Wait, I remember him.
That one. No. Hold on. That one.
I remember him.
That one. Yeah. The green little guy with the umbrella.
He's like a green little
head.
Bird with no arms and an umbrella.
And he's like the last of his kind, and he lives in Wacky Land. And
but he's cute.
And I kind of need to re-see these episodes.
We need to
specifically.
We need to watch Tiny Toons because I remember I loved it, but I was so young.
Yeah.
But like when I see the characters, I like
There's
remember
some type of nostalgia.
Yeah, I remember remember this pen guy.
The pen guy. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're like on a tour and this pen guy's there. I remember that. It's just so weird how I was saying that Nick like literally. Oh my god! Remember the skunk? The skunk girl?
Yeah, Fifi, I think was her name. Wasn't her name Fifi? Or
I can't get over it.
Yeah. But anywho, we need to watch an episode of that. But like also going back to like, unlocking memories, I was thinking about when I was a kid and I literally used to do like this kind of podcast setup in daycare, like summer daycare. When I was like probably like
podcaster?
Like when I was like 10 to 12 or something, I would bring like my little boombox stereo and have like random guests like
a radio show. And like we'd call it All My Grandchildren because my grandmother she used to take care of me sometimes like during the summertime and like she was obsessed with all my children, so I'd watch All My Children with her. Yes.
And then like so I would go to the summer daycare and I'd call this like little podcast show called All My Grandchildren.
Wait, that's cute.
And we would like choose like a kid from the daycare to like be our special guest and just like talk about random stuff.
Do you have those like cassettes somewhere?
I don't know. I mean, but like that's what I was thinking about today. I was like, holy crap. Yeah. I was like, that is something I haven't thought about in forever. And like, but also like, it was just kind of a weird, archaic version of a podcast back in the day, because that's, I had this like
Fisher Price cassette recorder thing that had a microphone that was like on a cord. And you could talk into it and it would record on it. And
I remember that thing.
It
was like kind of like a little box.
Yes.
Like,
and I remember like I would go up if I liked a song that was on the radio, like I'd hold it up to the speaker on the other radio and record the song. Yeah. So I had it on a cassette and then I would like
be
talking.
Incidental music.
And then I would talk into the microphone too, and I had like say these obnoxious things, and then like go back to the music again. Like it's so embarrassing.
Speaking of the incident, I love the little incidental music that you use for this podcast. It's like very like 1950s housewife on MDMA. Like
that was like the intention.
Like her, like
because it's just like so. The podcast itself is like so gossip centric. It's conversation centric, and I was like, if I had to pick a theming and a brand, and if I had like one day maybe I'll have like a physical set and we'll record video, I would want it to be like mid-century. I'd want it to feel like akin to that world. So like finding that music was really intentional. Thank you for appreciating it.
Yeah, it's like,
I also love doing like, kind of. It's kind of like Don't Worry, Darling. Or, whatever. Yeah. Edward Scissorhands or something. But I also really like, I don't know, I just feel like the 1950s housewife was like women quintessentially essentially surviving through communication with one another because they weren't going to work and they were staying home all day. And so I feel like that's kind of like the vibe.
And just being on the telephone and gabbing and like,
Yeah. And then maybe selling Avon or Tupperware.
Yeah. Just to get out of the house and like, be recreational. And
go to Beatrice's house.
Yeah, like little socialites a little bit, but in a middle class society.
Ideal.
Yeah. There's this Spotify playlist. I think I don't know if I've shared it with you or not, but I found it like a couple months ago. It's called 50s Housewife Bangers, and it's like literally the best playlist because it's 50s Housewife Bangers. Like it has everything. It has like rock and roll. It has like jazz. It has blues from the 40s to like the early 60s, like in that like era. Yeah, it's there's like almost like no skips.
Or what?
I sometimes I'll just like clean my house or like just be in the car or like go to the gym and like rock out. There's this one track that I was kind of obsessed with, and it's in Mandarin, and it's by this.
What's it called?
I don't know because it's the name Mandarin. Of the title is in Mandarin. Like, but it's like. Well, like I can't even like I don't know what they're saying, but like it's just like an earworm and it just gets in your head.
Really?
And it's so good. Like I want to see it like used in some kind of like TV episode or like movie.
Okay, I'll attach it.
I'll send it to you.
I'll attach it in the comments below on the podcast so people can click on it and listen to it too.
Yeah, it's in that playlist, so I could easily find what it is because there's a thing there.
So it's like
I could never like type in what that is. I don't know what that. I wouldn't know where to begin. So
right. Well, okay, great. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah,
I can't wait to hear it.
It's cute. It's like it kind of reminds me of like something that would be in like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel or something, So
what a great show.
Yeah, great show.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It's a great show. It's made by and written by like the same people that did Gilmore Girls.
I don't know. Yeah.
And Gilmore Girls is so good.
I ran into what's her name? Lauren
Graham.
Yeah, I ran into her at a Whole Foods once.
Iconic.
And she was a little surly. Like, I don't know. I hear interesting things about her. I'm not spreading gossip, but like I feel like she's not somebody that people like to work with very often.
No way.
So
really?
Yeah, I don't know. And then when I ran into her,
I can't even believe it.
At Whole Foods, I was like,
Lorelai Gilmore is great.
She just like had a surliness to her. She was like,
maybe she's
just having a bad day. I don't know.
Maybe she puts that face on to go in the store so every woman doesn't stop her.
Maybe. I don't know.
I imagine every woman in the country would be like Lorelai.
Yeah. Everywhere
she goes. And she isn't really doing much right now. She's probably equally annoyed.
She was on that show that was like not very long lived. The one with Jane. What's her name? She had red hair. It was like something about like. It was like a playlist, like somebody's playlist, like, I don't know. It was on Hulu for like a hot second. Had a song. Like every single episode had like somebody singing a song, and like it was like hers.
A musical?
It was like very much that. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, I think it's what it was called.
Jane Levy.
Thank you, Jane Levy. Yeah.
Is she related to
I don't think so. I think I know who you were gonna say. I don't
even need to finish my sentence. Yeah. See, we should get married. I knew it.
let's have a lavender marriage, and like that'll be the.
I told
theme.
You can have as many boyfriends as you want.
Lavender.
We'll be free. It'll be great. Cocktail parties. We'll have the cutest house.
I'm like lavender themed cocktails.
Whatever you want, honey. Whatever you want, honey.
We're formulating this right now.
Whatever you want, honey.
Speaking of cocktails, can I segue into the thing that I brought for you?
What did you bring for me?
I brought you this canned beverage that was. My God. It's kind of like a seltzer, but it's not a seltzer.
Go get it.
And
Go get it.
I'm excited because I haven't tried this yet with anybody yet.
Okay.
But I've had them for a while because.
Okay, so you brought two drinks. One's called Linda.
And
one's called Carol.
So the name of this company is called Mom Water.
Okay.
And each of these cocktails are named after a woman. Okay. So there's Linda, there's Carol, there's a Karen.
Okay, so it says,
and they're all different flavors.
Let me read the can. So it says zero carbonation Mom Water, blueberry peach Linda.
Yeah, Linda's the name of the. Yeah,
the flavor's blueberry peach. And then on the side above Linda, it says charismatic, playful, and creative. Mm-hmm. Grain neutral spirits with natural flavors, 4.5% alcohol, 12 fluid ounces.
Yeah. And this one is...
Burton's having a reverse sneeze moment. Okay, so it's a vodka based.
Yeah,
drink.
but it's like a seltzer with zero carbonation. Because sometimes I drink Truly's or White Claws, and I feel like if I have more than two of that, They are just like so just bubbly, like, you know,
90
it
calories
makes you feel like bloated
and 0
or gassy.
sugar.
And I thought that maybe you can add a little bit of soda water to your liking to this.
Okay, cool. And then Carol is cranberry lime, and she's clever, confident, and lively. What is that? What's that about? It makes me feel like
they each have their own personalities, which I thought was like kind of cool.
That's
like
kind of cool.
I
almost feel like it should be giving us like there should be pot in it, or that there should be like aptogens in it, just because it says those things. And like I feel like, as somebody who buys a lot of canned beverages at the Erewhon, I like sometimes I'll go in there and get like, if I'm going to the movies in the cemetery in the summertime, I'll pop in and get like one canned beverage there, and I'll pick out of the giant wall one of them, and like this is kind of how they do their packaging. So I think it's interesting that they're combining like a hard spirit spritz without like the spritz. Yeah. And then they're doing it in the same modern packaging. It's very
Neutral does something similar, but so they're carbonated as well, but they're less, like I think 50% of the carbonation less than what a White Claw or Truly is.
Okay.
And I've had that at a bar before, and it's enjoyable because it's like you just don't. Sometimes you just get filled with like, I don't know.
No, I
too
get
much
it.
carbonation for me. It's like not. I'm not a big
gravitate
towards soda water or
carbonation person. So, yeah.
Only when I'm like, you know, if I'm mixing it with like alcohol. But
it does something to your stomach.
Yeah,
it like
it just
bloats
makes you feel full. And like when you're like out and like at a bar or like club, you don't want to feel. It makes you feel gross. I mean,
listen, a man with your abs, you don't want anything jeopardizing that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, sometimes you're in like crop tops and you know, you feel a certain way, but you may not.
Sometimes you're in a mesh tank top. And,
speaking of.
And you don't want, what kind of danger did the mesh tank top bring you lately?
So I bought this top, this crop top.
In quotations.
Why? Literally,
is it like dental floss?
It is literally like pieces of like black yarn that it looks like a fishnet, but like a really open fishnet, not like tight.
Like the fish escaped the net.
It's not like mesh. It looks like
fish escaped.
It looks like what a hammock would maybe be made out of.
A hammock.
Yeah. But it's black and it's like made out of yarn or something equivalent to whatever yarn is, and it's the cross sections have like little silver pearls around it. So, and I tried it on and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this on. It's only like $25, and I'm like, let's see if it fits.
Where were you?
I was in West Hollywood. Obviously, only something like that would be. But it was literally the only thing that was in the shop there.
There should essentially just be a shop in West Hollywood that's just like different types of fishnet crop tops.
Well, I mean,
it would do well.
There is sort of a shop like that, but that was the only one that was there in that shop. I was like literally perusing everything in there we went in there first of all for mushroom chocolate. And
mushroom chocolate.
Yeah.
You can just sell that now? Or no, it's like behind the counter.
Well, it's not necessarily psilocybin. It's a proprietary blend of something that is mimicking that.
Got it.
Chemically.
Oh, that's not good.
So, because I was doing a little research on it, and I was like, I didn't take any, but my roommate was.
Jeffrey has a guy.
Yeah.
The bartender. There's that will give you an order form, and you can just it'll ship to your house.
So there's like people that will actually make real mushroom chocolate, but like this was like something that was just in this store, and that's why we went in there to
check it out.
Yeah.
Did you buy the top?
I did buy the top, but like it was just funny because I was like literally.
Are you going to save it for Pride?
So I'm saving it for Pride. So it's like
that sounds
a Pride look, and I'm going to pair it with like some cute.
Are you going to get some black crocheted pants to go with it?
Well, no, I was thinking I have like these kind of like grayish, light gray silver.
No. Don't do dark top, light pants.
Okay.
Don't do it.
So dark and dark.
Get some like black like macrame or like crocheted pants to go with it, but like that are like obviously a tighter grain on it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be such a look.
Yeah. I can picture that. It has to be right because like I feel like if there's too much, that's kind of the focal piece, and then like.
Well, then go denim. Just go
denim,
go
maybe,
like darker denim on bottom.
Okay. Yeah. Anyhow, we're getting into.
Okay, that's important. So are we gonna try these? Is that the plan?
Yeah, let's try them. So do you want to do Linda?
First,
are you blueberry peach or are you cranberry lime?
Hold on a second. We'll try both. But I just want to like make it clear here. Looking at Linda, looking at Carol, I'm definitely more of a Linda.
Yeah.
Charismatic, playful, creative.
Yeah.
But also like the flavor just appeals to me more. The blueberry peach over like a cranberry lime.
To that too, but like this also kind of reminds me of like a Moscow Mule or something, like a winter Moscow Mule with cranberry.
You know, I do have like a poppy in my fridge right now that's cranberry lime. So maybe I'm just also like kind of played out on the flavor. Yeah. But we'll give it a try. Here we go.
I'm down to be Carol.
Okay.
All right. That pop. But it's not carbonated. You would think that something that would pop like that would be carbonated, right?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like the air that's trapped. The flavor's very
it's light.
It's very light.
Yeah.
Like I don't
it
even
almost tastes like Crystal Light.
Not even. Crystal Light's got more flavor.
It's like drinking one of those seltzers without but I don't know.
But it's flat.
Yeah.
Here's
like
the thing.
Yes. Okay, maybe you do need the bubbles. See, that's why I was saying, like, you know.
Here's the thing.
Adding your own soda water to it.
If this was on ice and I was by the pool and I was going to have 8 of them.
Mm-hmm. 8 is excessive.
I'm being dramatic.
I was like, damn, girl.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you're gonna have several,
you're having a journey.
If you're going out and you want to, and you're gonna be sipping something all day, this is 4.5. It's 0 grams sugar.
It is. It's flavor or sweetened with like monk fruit or something. If you wanted a drink that's like sugar free and you're like really watching what you're having, I think that this could be a good option for it, but I don't think I'd buy a case. Oh, but it says 0 artificial sweetness. So what is this sweetened with? It doesn't even say it on there. It says 0
artificial sweetness, and then on the back it says natural blueberry peach flavors.
This says natural cranberry lime flavors.
So you know what that means? It's chemically flavored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about America is
you can say natural flavors because natural flavors aren't
you
everything.
can say no artificial flavors, and then you can say, look at literally 0 artificial flavors.
Yeah,
and then it says natural flavors on the back. They think we're idiots.
But it says 0 artificial sweeteners.
No,
too.
and you know what, Mom Water? No, you know what, Mom Water? Out of principle, I don't like it.
Out of principle, I want to taste yours.
Don't try to play games with me. Okay, I'll try the cranberry lime. At least the lime comes through on this.
Yeah.
That's the boldest
the
flavor.
The second sip that I had on that was better than the first sip. It just took me a second to get used to it
I still don't like it. Sorry, Nick. Where did you get these?
I got them at Total Wine in the seltzer section. Because I got it for an Oscar party that I didn't end up going to just to bring something, but I ended up having like a little 3-way before that, so like
a menage a trois
the night before, and I didn't get home till like probably 10 o'clock in the morning.
God, that's a very long night.
Yeah, but I mean,
how'd you find these partners?
It was just random people that I
on the app.
No, I was out.
Oh, at the bar?
Yeah.
Are they a couple?
Yeah.
You find couples. Or couples find you.
Yeah.
And is it always like one person in the couple's kind of into you and then the other partner just kind of comes along? Or in this case, were they both really into it?
In this case, it was kind of going back and forth.
The flavor isn't leaving my mouth.
I know. Yeah. It's weird.
It doesn't, Mom Water doesn't pass the test of approval.
You know what? What I'm gonna do with these, because I have like a whole like case. Well, like something 4-packs, but like, I think I'm gonna add some vodka to it and a little bit of soda water.
Why don't you just get soda, and why don't you just buy vodka, and why don't you just make a cocktail instead of buying these? Nick.
Yeah.
For those of us who haven't had 3-ways, is there a rhythm to a successful 3-way?
What do you mean by a rhythm?
Like, how does this situation occur? Because I know, like, everyone's, like, porno fantasy goes one way, where it's, like, just this ideal situation. But, like, realistically, pulling off.
Well, so this is something that happened organically and not through an app, which I feel like a lot of the times, if you're on an app, there's a couple that's looking for a third.
Okay.
So you already kind of know what the intentions are there. So and
they're usually experienced in that case then, right?
Yeah. But if the way that this happened organically and just real time, like at a bar that I was at, it's a different situation, I feel, because you kind of have to like feel it out. I don't think that people are going into this looking for that, or at least in my experience, it didn't feel that way. Like it just kind of happened and we were vibing, and it just kind of led to that. Went back to their place, had more drinks, and I feel always alcohol is like a social lubricant, for lack of a better word, and you know, you get a little handsy and people start like, and so I don't know. It just kind of like, happened. And
did they have a nice house?
I mean, yeah, they had an apartment, but yeah, it was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone back to someone's place and it's like horrible and you're like, oh my God, I cannot stay here. Yeah,
they lived together, and it was a fun little time. But
and then you missed the Oscars.
Well, yeah, because I after that I crashed at their place, and and I just was like there until.
And you were hungover the next day.
I was a little hungover, yeah. So I was made it home, and I had an intention of going to this party that was supposed to happen in San Dimas area, which is kind of far from where I'm at, but I wasn't driving. My roommate was going to drive us there. But long story short, they wanted to go to IKEA first on the way to San Dimas, which is a place that I would not want to go while I'm hungover, like at 12 o'clock.
No,
and then,
on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, and then go to somebody's Oscar party.
You only go to IKEA
like, that's
on a
long
weekday.
Day for me.
You only go to IKEA on a weekday. You don't go on your weekend. Unless you're toting two toddlers, you don't go to IKEA on the weekend.
So I just pieced out, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a nap. Go have your fun. I'm going to order my food and have just a day where I'm just like not doing anything, because it was like kind of a wild night. So, yeah. One
thing that we have in common is we both love to travel.
I'm still going to drink this.
You're going to drink Carol?
I'm going
Do you want some ice? You want to have it over some ice?
No, she's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to hit my pipe over there? Or is that going to be too chaotic?
No. Maybe, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back after this.
Cruising, all you fellas looking for a bruising. Cadillac Coupe de Ville, we steal the shoes off your feet. And we're rolling, sticky little trees, it's the weekend. Funny looks don't bother me. We're green, but we're families. Oh, please help me load this boat. Windows up and don't let out the anecdote. Lighters high up in the sky, blaze the way, show me where the green. Gonna phone home, sorry mama, love these sticky little trees.
Okay, we're back.
We're
And I
back.
thought that that was like the perfect song to give you while we took a quick hit. That was Bikini Trill, a North Hollywood local band that I'm obsessed with. And every time they're in town, I got to go see them. And they've been traveling all over the country lately. So check out Bikini Trill. Find their music on Spotify, wherever you find your music. They kick ass. One thing we have in common is that we love to travel.
Yes.
And we both love London.
London's great.
London's such a good city.
Yeah. Been there twice.
Let's each say 2 things we love about London. Do you want me to go first?
Yes, because I don't know if I can narrow it down.
Okay, I know, and there's many things,
Yeah.
but 2 things off the top of my head right now that I love about London is 1, how clean and safe the public transportation feels. I
agree with
The
that.
last time I went, I was shocked. I think a third of the people on the tube were children. I was, 1, surprised to see so many children, and 2, I was like, wow, there's like grandparents with young children here. I feel like in America, everyone would be afraid that someone was going to beat up the grandparent and steal the child.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. But like, I also like how efficient the transportation is there.
But it's so clean and like...
The Elizabeth line is, I mean, that's probably like the newest one, I think. The purple one. That one's just gorgeous.
Something else that's really cool about London, another favorite thing of mine that I'm trying to pick things that are unassuming to like be interesting to whoever's listening to this podcast, is that the pub culture is like, it is happy hour centric. But everyone that shows up to like the bars after work and stuff, they're all very jovial people. Everyone's like really welcoming to conversation. When you walk around the bar and you want to talk to people, everyone's just like kind of like, hi, hey.
Yeah, I mean, I found that we didn't necessarily go to pubs during the day a lot. I mean, a lot of our drinking at nighttime.
Well, this was at nighttime.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that they go after work.
Like,
so
yeah,
even if
so I'm,
I
like,
showed
picturing-
up, even if I showed up at the bar at 7:30 or 8, they had been there since after work.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that's like kind of a cultural thing where it's like you go to work and then you go right to a pub to have a pint of beer or something, you know? And
Which
like,
kind of
that's-
is the same as New York.
Yeah.
But the people in New York are very closed and not warm to people bopping around and socializing.
True.
And I found the people in London are.
True. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pub culture there is fun. Like, I went to a couple of pubs in Shoreditch area, and that was also on a Sunday, and there was like football games that were going on, so it got a little rowdy. And it was
Did you go to like the gay bars out by Piccadilly Circus?
We did. Well, like this past trip, we went to some club called Omara, which I don't necessarily know where that was located because I was a little buzzed by the time we got there, so I wasn't sure how we actually got there.
Yeah.
That was a fun night, though. It was a fun night. We got on some list and we're in, but the longest line that we waited in was the coat check line. The coat check line, because we went in November, and the coat check line took almost 45 minutes to get through. And I was like getting annoyed and livid. I was like, I just need a drink right now. Like, I can't believe I'm waiting in line to check my coat for 45 minutes.
Ew,
This would
why
never
didn't you just keep your
happen.
coat on?
Because it was a very big coat and I wasn't wearing a whole lot underneath that.
It's never stopped you.
True, but like also I'm not going to go out in like 30-degree weather without a jacket on.
No, I
you
know. I'm just saying,
and,
like, what if you
where am I
just-
going to put it? It was too big. It was like a wool
parka.
coat. Yes, yeah, with a hood and like it was a fur line and like it was.
But London was
huge.
not that cold. When I went in February, I was expecting frigid temperatures, and I bought a wool cape and brought this wool cape.
It's colder than
And
LA,
it was-
so yeah, it's a different type of cold.
It was balmy. It was not cold.
Well, in November, the middle of November,
Maybe
it was,
November's colder.
Yeah, and it was
Than
just literally
February.
like I think the high was maybe 50 during the day, and the night it was like in the 30s. So I mean, I'm not used to
Okay.
30-degree weather here, so
I think maybe
had to get layered.
November sounds colder than what February was like.
Yeah, it
Okay,
snowed
what
briefly.
What are your 2 favorite things about
London. I
and
mean,
they can be unassuming. It's not like your absolute favorite things. Don't
Yeah.
feel married to what you say.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the places that we went out to. Like, I liked that their theater area there in Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many different offerings of things, almost like, their Times Square. But, like, everything's just so walkable and so close by. You could be here, you could be there, you could be there.
Yeah.
And, like, experience, a new show almost every night if
It's
you
a
wanted
really
to. So,
walkable
yeah.
city. It's
But also
really
it doesn't-
beautiful.
It doesn't feel as, like, bustling as, like, Times Square, like, or touristy. I don't know how to describe that, but I think that's what I liked about it. It's just, like, it felt like it was just
It's more charming.
generally, it was part of the general population, so I enjoyed that. We saw Book of Mormon on our last night there, which was
genius. I'm a huge Matt Stone and Trey Parker fan.
It was very irreverent. I had no idea like what. I mean, obviously, yeah, I had a gist of what it was about, but like I didn't realize where they were gonna go with it, and I was just like, "What am I watching right now?"
I mean, it's the writers of South Park. So
yeah.
Speaking of, they opened a restaurant. They reopened Casa Bonita in Colorado,
Denver.
Yeah. And because they came into our restaurant and were sampling food with their chef before they reopened the restaurant.
Wait, the people from Casa Bonita?
Yeah, and the people that made the Book of Mormon.
Okay.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Yeah, okay.
They came in, and they... Oh, and so when I heard that they were reopening it, I went on their website and I registered as a member. It was free at the time. And so now I'm a member, and they're like mailing me a membership card for Casa Bonita. I've never even been to Colorado, but now I'm kind of excited to go.
I mean, I remember that episode and how strange it was. I was like, is this a real place? I like had to look it up.
Casa
I was
Bonita,
like, yeah.
Casa
and like
Bonita.
there were cliff divers and
Yeah,
like,
it's real.
What? I was like, what is this? Like, yeah. So I don't know. It just seemed like unsanitary. I don't know.
Okay,
Like,
Nick, Mr. Unsanitary.
Well, I don't know. I mean, are there health code violations going on in that place?
Absolutely not.
So,
it's probably impeccable. No, I'm just kidding. But
I don't
maybe
know.
now it is, because now it's an expensive restaurant.
Okay.
Now it's like a thing.
It's a destination
It
restaurant.
is, yeah. I just feel like how funny would it be to be sitting there eating your like chips and guac, and you're watching cliff divers in like flashy little sparkly suits jump off a waterfall.
See, it sounds campy.
Which I love.
In theory, but if done right, it could be a cool experience. And maybe
but
that's
camp
what
is
they're...
cool. Not kitsch, camp.
Okay, yeah. We're going to go back to that topic because I want to talk about something I just recently watched this morning that I was just...
Let's just say
like,
it. What?
It was this new show on Netflix called The Residents.
Okay.
And it's kind of like Clue, but it takes place in the White House. Oh. And...
is it campy?
Okay, so it's from Shondaland. So, like, you know...
Can Shonda... I mean, listen, I'm not going to knock...
and like,
I know, I'm not going to knock
there's-
Shonda, but like, I haven't seen her. Camp is an art.
Okay, so let's just say...
Like, okay, for the listener at home, the definition of camp for me is Scream Queen Season 1.
Okay,
like,
yes.
that
Agreed.
is my modern day take on artistic camp.
Agreed, yeah. It's
So-
kind of flawless.
It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And the performances are, the casting and everything. I mean, it's,
twins and the
in my
fraternity.
opinion, it's the home run that Ryan Murphy hit.
I was actually talking about Ryan Murphy's works recently with a good friend of mine, and I don't know if you remember this show back in the day called Popular. It was like, I think in the late 90s.
No.
And Leslie Bibb was the star.
So it's like pre-Glee.
Yes. So it was like, you know, it took place in high school, and Leslie Bibb was in it. Leslie Grossman was in it as well, and she kind of stole the entire show as this character named Mary Cherry, and her
Great
mom
name.
was played by Delta Burke, and her name was Cherry Cherry. And
That's amazing.
They were like, yeah, no, you have to watch this show. It is.
Cherry's a great name.
Yeah, so Mary Cherry was from Texas, and she had this little accent, but she was just crazy. Like, just think of Leslie Grossman, and then dial her up to like 20.
Oh my God.
She was out of control on this show.
Is that in
so-
your top Ryan Murphy shows?
One of them, yes, yeah.
I have to watch it.
Yeah, and I texted a friend of mine yesterday. I was like, "Hey, do you ever think about this one character that was like kind of like a supplemental character or supporting actor?" But I just was obsessed with her name. Her name was Poppy Fresh, but like her real name was like Popita Fresh. And it's like, I told her, I was like, "Hey, do you ever like randomly think about Popita Fresh and what she's doing nowadays? Is she real?" And she's like, "Absolutely." She comes to my mind almost like monthly.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, that is like one of the shows that lives in my head.
Okay, stop.
Rent-free.
I'm going to
So,
start it.
yeah.
I'm going to start it.
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. I mean, you probably can buy it like from like
Nick,
Amazon or something. But
I'll
like,
okay,
okay, you can. I think you can find it. Yeah,
I'll
you're
find it.
wily. So
I'll find it.
Yeah,
This is my town.
but so yes. I mean, in essence, like I was watching this show, and already I was like, wait, in the first 5 minutes, Kylie Minogue was performing at the White House. And I was like, what?
Well, we love Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, first of all, I was like, Kylie Minogue and anything. So I was like, already sold. But she was performing as herself. So like this whole show was like, the presidency was a gay president. So it's a gay president.
What she sang? La, la,
yeah, she was singing like a bunch of songs.
Oh.
Yeah. But in the background sometimes, but also like kind of featured. So it was. They
cut back and forth.
Yeah.
They'd probably use her to cut away before they switch scenes with other characters talking.
Yeah.
So are you going to watch the show again?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I just watched the first episode and I was already sold because like it was just really like, I mean, for lack of a better word, kitschy or campy, but like.
No, kitschy is tacky. Kitschy is tacky, but it can be cool.
Yeah.
Campy is like elevated and funny.
Yeah. I don't know. It was
kitschy is a roadside stop. Like that's kitschy. Yeah. Kitschy is like buying an antique cat figurine that's really gaudy because you're like, this is going to be it. People are going to love to see this. Yeah. And that's like kitschy. And then campy is like intentionally elevated, intentionally comedic, but like elevated. It's so pushed that it's like elevated comedy.
Yeah. And I feel like it's kind of in that realm because like the premise so far of why Kylie Minogue was performing at this state dinner was because they were trying to repair relations between Australia and the United States because the previous president, something happened there when they kind of just like blew up, like just like, you know, the relations between the two, just between the two countries. It's just like, you know, not great. So they were trying to make amends and they were having this whole like Australian dinner with like a prime minister and Kylie Minogue performing and this death happens while that's going on. And it's just kind of, it's an interesting premise, but like it was just kind of blowing my mind for a second. Like the first thing I watched in the morning is this show and it's like, it's just so random, you know? So
you had a crazy day so far.
Yeah. I think I feel like I'm in a David Lynch film sometimes. So
really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Is that how you see your world?
Sometimes.
Like our friend Alexandria, she definitely sees her world like it's a rom-com. Like every choice, every decision, everything that happens to her is on rom-com level drama.
I would say
you're
that's
David
accurate.
Lynch.
I don't know all the time if it's David Lynch. I mean, but there are Lynchian things that happen, and because if I was living in a David Lynch world, I think I'd be scared. Honestly.
Yeah, that's why I was worried for you for a minute when you said that.
But I also say that with like a grain of salt because like whenever I think of David Lynch, it's just like weird stuff. Not necessarily scary, but just kind of
twisted,
surreal, you know? Oh. And but maybe sometimes twisted a little bit. But
what's
also
my world?
I don't know.
Judy Garland.
Liza Minnelli.
It's Liza.
Yeah, it's Liza Minnelli.
It's Liza.
In anything, honestly.
Or it's Shelley Duvall. Actually, it's Shelley Duvall. Hi, I'm Shelley Duvall.
Hello,
and welcome
I'm Shelley Duvall.
to Fairy Tale Theater. I love that. Okay, wait, circling back to London. London's great.
Yeah.
This last time we went to the countryside, but you haven't had the pleasure yet of seeing the English countryside. It is so romantic. It is so quintessential. It's so cute. You're like, I could just die here. You're like, just put me in one of these little thatchet homes, lock the door, and I'm just gonna die in there with like a cat or something, and my stew on the fire. Like this is how we'll live now.
So you're living a pastoral, witchy kind of life.
Well, it's just like you see it, and it's just like. It's breathtaking because it feels like you're in a history book and it feels like you're in this storybook. And there are like, don't get me wrong, there's like cute little boutique hotels. There's fucking George Clooney's McMansion with a pool. Like there's these there are beautiful modern takes out there. But like when you go to like some village that's built around like an old, like maybe some lord's gifted estate, and they are known
like from feudal times.
Yeah, and they're like known for like breeding a specific type of sheep that no one else in the world has, and so the whole village is living on like inherited money for the 4th generation because they were that rich because the royal family was buying all their wool, and they have these like thatchet roofed homes. I'm just like, are we gonna go walk around like the fucking Cotswolds or whatever here, and then we're gonna sit by the fire and eat our stew? Like, this is the life we live.
See, that would be like your ideal, like, fantasy place to maybe like.
No, I would be in a castle on the loch.
Okay.
Yeah, in Scotland.
Okay.
But
you do enjoy that kind of.
This is close.
Yeah, scenery.
I don't think I would want to do it for life.
Yeah.
But I joke that like
for like a vibey time.
I joke that like if I was to like be like Old Yeller and I was just to leave the house and go out and die one day.
Wait, what?
Like if my time was coming and I was like with that like canine or cat instinct, you know, when like people's dogs or cats run away and they just go die somewhere so they don't, you know that?
But Old Yeller was killed.
Well, I didn't know that. I don't watch animal movies because I worry
that's why
about.
it was so sad because like this kid had to make a decision to kill his dog. From what I actually have never seen the film. It's a
horrible concept for a movie.
But like the dog was getting ill.
I don't watch animal movies because I don't like to see animals hurt or in jeopardy.
I don't know if they show it, but I mean, it's definitely alluded to.
So if
and
I
that's
was
like
gonna
a big part of the plot. I'm like, so you're just gonna go out here with the intention of getting killed.
No,
like
okay. Let me rephrase. Let me correct myself. If I was gonna be like someone's domesticated animal and I was gonna run away to go die somewhere because I was old, I don't even understand that logic, but. Whatever. I guess I'm not really a dog. So I would go out and I could like do that there. I think it just seems really peaceful and like.
Well, yeah.
And like really like, I don't know. It feels old timey.
Yeah.
And cozy. It feels so cozy.
Cozy for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Like The Holiday. Oh my God.
That's a good movie.
And Cameron Diaz wasn't wrong to go out to go there and do all the things she did.
She wasn't, especially when you have Jude Law next to you.
Mr. Napkin Face.
What does that mean?
You don't remember in the movie when he puts a napkin on his face and
he
talks with the glasses?
Yeah.
Napkin
I was
face.
like, I literally took that like he had a napkin face, like his face looks like a napkin. And I was like, that just.
I'm trying to picture what that looks like.
I know, like literally that just twisted my head for a second. I was like, what does that mean?
Like,
oh my God, he has a napkin face.
Wait, that could be a thing though.
A napkin face?
What does that mean? Like that maybe their face is folded differently?
Could be a horror film. Napkin face.
Napkin face. He's watching you. Napkin face.
I'm going to have a nightmare about that tonight. Probably now.
Probably. You're going to have a lot of nightmares after drinking this Carol beverage you're still drinking. It's not good, you guys.
It's not.
I'll be honest. I'm not going to like pretend to be some stupid influencer. It's like, mom water. No, it's not good. It's not a good drink.
I'm a sucker for packaging.
Me too.
And
Me too.
things that look.
And this one wins.
Yeah.
Because they chose like cute little depictions of fruit, but they're like very like, looks like a little watercolor art of a blueberry, little watercolor art of a peach.
Oh, this one actually has a Christmas tree on it.
I
didn't see that.
Oh yeah, look, I can see
in
it
the background. Yeah. But
you were right about the festiveness. We're not going back on the topic of these drinks. They're bad. Let's jump forward.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get away from them.
Okay. Let's put them somewhere.
Stop being obsessed with these terrible seltzers. I'm glad that these seltzers didn't ruin your threesome. You know, they didn't drink and go.
Well, I mean, I wasn't committed to like pushing that agenda on, party guests.
Drinking the seltzers.
I mean, I just thought that they were kind of funny.
You would never push anything on anyone.
They were there if you wanted one.
If someone came to me and was like, Nick pushed this on me, I'd be like, okay. Like, I wouldn't believe that for a second.
I only do that for like really, really important things. Like, this is not something that's
like what? Like, do your taxes, Lindsay.
No, that's not necessarily an important. Well, it is important to do, but I mean, that's something I wouldn't push on someone.
We're not going to go political, but didn't Trump just like fire the IRS or something? Like, who's even doing the taxes now?
He's just firing a lot of people.
Okay, let's not go political. Let's not do it. Let's not do it. Okay, so another thing that Nick and I share a love for is Paddington Bear. Speaking of Britishness, we love Paddington, and we went and saw the most recent Paddington movie, and you bought a cute lunchbox.
I did, and now I'm using that lunchbox to store my makeup products in. Not that I wear makeup very often, but like I like to do kind of
that's cute.
Little simple things here and there if I'm going out, or like some eyeliner or something.
It's like a little Paddington suitcase that's holding all your makeup. That's cute.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I recently just a friend of mine that introduced me to those films, and that character is a good friend of mine. He passed away last year. And it was his birthday on Tuesday. So like my other friend Adam and I, we kind of celebrated him on Tuesday, and we were just kind of reminiscing and like talking about Paddington and like, you know, how much he loved him, and he used to dress up as him for like Halloween.
That's
like
really
for costumes.
cute.
Yeah. It's kind of like a nice little like memorial, just like kind of thinking of Frank, you know? So
yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, but and I was like, what can I watch? And I almost like watched one of the Paddington movies that night, but I had other plans to watch Anora with my roommate, which I also
totally different tone.
Yeah, but like also like my friend Frank would have probably been into Anora, but that didn't end up happening either. So
have you seen it yet?
I haven't. No,
it's okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
It's okay. It's not. Everyone is just all horned up. Here's the truth about these things, and it's similar to like. It's similar. I remember when True Blood came out on HBO, and it was the first of its kind to have like these racy scenes, and people ate it up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So much so that the next season was literally about like an orgy demon, and that made like everyone in the town black out. Yeah, everyone in the town black out and have orgies. And I was like, okay. And so I look back at that, and then whenever something that's like, don't get me wrong, I've heard amazing testimonials from sex workers and people that have like spent time working in that industry or whatever, and how akin to their like reality it was, and blah blah blah. That's great. That's all great. But when I look at this and how the mass public is affected by it, I'm like, y'all are just. Y'all are just excited to watch something that's like not porn, but like is getting you horned up.
Was it like Showgirls, but like?
Well, the first like 40 minutes is like she's pretty much naked and like
she's like
working.
A stripper, right? Or
yeah, and she's like working the whole time, and like people are working, and so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about Nora on another podcast. Okay. I already talked about Nora with somebody, and I'm just like, it's literally, I'm going to edit this part out because I just don't think it's good.
Okay. And
Sean Baker's misogynist, and any of these, I just think it's weird when like a male filmmaker, not saying that a filmmaker can't make a movie about anything, because it's their art, they can make a movie about whatever they want, but I just think it's a choice when like a male filmmaker makes a story about like a female sex worker. It makes me think twice about like, ooh, why did you choose to commit like 3 to 5 years of your life to tell this story? What attracted you to this character? Like
a female sex worker specifically, or
as the main character,
or a man writing a story like as through like a woman's lens, like
No, I don't see it that way.
Okay,
because the gaze of the films are very male gaze.
Okay,
it's not female gaze.
Okay,
someone that does one of the best examples of female gaze in modern filmmaking today that I've seen so far is actually Mike White that does White Lotus.
Yeah, that friend group is.
He's like, not just the friend group. Like he just understands the complexity of women. He actually knows women. Mm-hmm. And writes women. There's like so many layers and nuance to it, and like his paintbrush strokes aren't always these big broad strokes, where I feel like a man that doesn't really know a woman and that's trying to tell a woman's story, you're gonna see all throughout the piece these big brush strokes of like, because men think that way. Men are much more like hot, cold, emotional, not like in the moment, not in the moment. Like that's how men are. Women are like micro complexities of thought all interweaved into one moment. So wait, I think now would be a great time for us to jump into a segment.
Okay.
Want to jump into Doom Scroll Diaries?
Doom Scroll Diaries?
Yeah.
Sure.
Dear Diary.
So welcome to the Doom Scroll Diaries, where I sacrifice my screen time so you don't have to. And this week on TikTok, there's a really cool trend that's popped up, Nick, and it's like someone will post a still photo, and it'll be like, girl to girl, what's the most unhinged psychotic thing you've ever done when it comes to a man? Or I'm bored. Please tell me about a conspiracy you actually believe. Or I'm bored. What's something you realized way too late in life?
And this is something that people like respond to in like comments? Or,
yes.
Okay.
So I'm bored. Tell me about your hometown's juiciest scandal. And it'll just be like some girl's selfie.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like the comments are full.
Yeah.
The comments are full. So if you had to pick a category today, which one do you want to hear? Do you want to hear juiciest hometown scandals? Do you want to hear something you realized way too late in life? Do you want to hear conspiracies you actually believe? Or do you want to hear the most unhinged psychotic thing you've ever done when it comes to a man?
That one.
Okay.
The last one. I'm curious.
So this has been this is posted by Sodell Bitches, and it's got quite a few things on it. So I'll read some of them to you, and then you can tell me what you think.
I'm fascinated by people's behaviors and like what possesses them to do what they do sometimes. So this will be interesting.
Oh my God. So this person named Michelle said, my ex cheated on me with a therapist, so I scheduled a session with her under my maiden name. Wanted to introduce myself.
Honestly, unhinged, but I kind of feel that. Like, I would be curious. Maybe that's something I might do. I don't know.
Wow. Okay. His credit card was still on our Amazon account after we broke up. The man never looked at his bill ever. I helped furnish my post-breakup wardrobe and new house.
And that's on him. Honestly, if you don't care enough to like
look at your check.
Yeah.
Okay. He posted his boys' trip boarding pass on his story confirmation number and all. It was just him and another girl on the reservation. I called and canceled his flight home from Jamaica.
That's a little
He told her it was a
savage.
boys' trip and it
Wow.
wasn't. That's really... Oh my God, took the stand as witness for his ex-wife.
Like all this content's kind of like reminded me of like that Cell Block Tango scene in Chicago where, you know, basically the line is like he had it coming, and
He
like
had it
things
coming.
that
He
men
had
do
it
to
coming.
prompt women or, you know, just exes in general to go crazy and push them to a point that like it's almost like I don't know,
almost criminal.
Yeah. Where
It
like
is.
makes you think that you're crazy, but are you actually? Like I'm not really gaslighting, but sort of. I mean,
It
like,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is gaslighting.
And then you do these crazy things that you think might be unhinged, but they're actually warranted.
Like,
Turns out.
No, you deserve this.
Turns out, yeah.
You had it coming. Okay. Signed him up for Scientology and the Army and the Marines because he cheated on me. That's Caroline. Don't mess with Caroline.
Love
That's crazy.
Scientology and the Army.
And the Marines. How do you even do that? I guess have his social security number. They're probably desperate. It's probably easy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Love Ange said, knew his car payment wasn't being made, so I called the repo man. That's naughty.
That's dangerous.
He was on top of the list for a Rolex. I called and had him taken off. He'd waited 1.5 years.
I want to know the signs of
That's
all
a
these
good like
people.
micro revenge. 1.5
Yeah.
years. Come on, for a watch. Who cares?
That's a long game.
Okay. I deleted his Pandora playlist with 5,000 songs on it. I bet that's the only playlist he ever listens to. 5,000 songs.
That's a lot.
It's probably like just every song he knows, and he listens to it every day.
It's just like a place that you say like. But also Pandora's just not.
I know, but some people use it. I know we don't use it, but people use it.
Yeah, my roommate uses it, and it drives me nuts.
Ew.
Like
I hate that.
I just feel like Pandora. Okay, is like kind of music for people that don't generally want to put the time into.
Isn't
like,
the thing about Pandora is like
anything.
you don't get to really pick the song.
You don't.
It's like the
you-
vibe.
Yeah, you choose.
But there's better Spotify playlists for that, like
There
the
is.
1950s housewife one that you were talking
Yeah,
about. That's
exactly.
so cool.
Yeah.
And I love the custom ones they'll suggest you, like Laurel Canyon hippie sunset. Like
that's like the day list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're so
yeah,
good. They're so
yeah.
good. Okay. Taylor. Taylor shit on his windshield. That's really crazy.
That's a Scorpio.
He was a mechanic. I poured oil under his car on a 98-degree Monday morning. Didn't want to take a chance breaking down, so spent all day in the heat trying to figure out where the leak was coming from.
That's funny.
Oh, okay. Rebecca changed all the contacts in his phone to Harry Potter characters. That's really good because you're not going to know who anybody is.
True.
Okay, Tia said, he was supposed to pay me back from his bail. He never did, then blocked me. So a week later, called the police about suspicious activity at his house, and then they busted him, and now he's serving 7 years. Wait, what? He didn't pay her back? Oh, from his bail. He had a warrant out for him.
Oh, wow.
Tia.
Yeah, he had it coming. Literally.
Oh no, Veronica. Veronica catfished him on Tinder, made him fall in love with her. Let's see, did she comment? Everyone's like, you won this one. Let's see what people say.
That's pretty evil.
Oh my God, Sarah commented on it and she said the modern day Pina Colada song, you know?
Yeah. Which the first time I actually really listened to the words of that song,
It was my ringtone and I'd never really processed what it was.
I was kind of grossed out by it, but I was like, was this what the 70s was like? Because like you're just laughing about it after a second, you know?
I don't know. It's dark.
It is dark.
Really dark.
It's a weird song, and like the ending of it is just like, oh, it was you all along. Ha ha ha. Well, like I guess we're getting back together, and like yeah, it's an odd song.
I mean, I get that they're both guilty, and that's like the charm of it, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's so dark.
Well, I don't know if they're both guilty. Well, I mean, she's guilty of like catfishing him and think that she's this other woman, but he's out there looking for it. So that's like more, I feel like guilty because he's actually looking for it.
Oh my God. Nicole caught him cheating. So she parked his car in another state and took out the fuses so it wouldn't run. That's crazy. Because he had to tow it probably, right? Because he probably has no idea what's wrong with his car.
I want to know what her YouTube looked like, you know, as far as like, did she know how to do this or did she look up how to do this?
This girl is a cute little blonde thing. She looks like maybe 21, so she definitely had to YouTube it. Or she grew up in a house where she knew how to do, someone taught her how to do that. Maybe her mom taught her.
Yeah. Life lessons.
Oh my God, caught him cheating while he was in ICU after a stroke. Transferred $35,000 out of his investments using his Face ID with the nurse's help to my account, then also stole all his air miles, flew first class.
Wow.
Captain Nats.
How many replies or comments are underneath that one?
900. I don't know how many comments there are, but there's 943 likes.
Wow, that's insane.
Everyone's like,
the nurse,
I'm not doing
the
enough.
Nurse
Is the
collaboration on that?
Wild. Can you imagine you're in a coma and so she comes in with the phone and goes like this to your face and then starts sending money? Oh,
yes, I can imagine
kind
that.
of.
It's. I feel like that's a movie. Like maybe that's While You Were Sleeping Part 2.
And then you'd be like, oh, I had to pay the hospital bill with your money.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, she's genius. This woman, Lucy Lou, says, I left that man alone, stayed single, healed, and now he thinks I have a roster, but really I'm in my clean house with my neck massager watching all the trash TV I want.
Wait, did you say Lucy Lou?
Yeah. Her name's
okay.
Lucy Lou.
Okay.
You're like, wait, Lucy Lou said that?
Lucy Lou. Like Charlie's Angels, Lucy Lou?
Absolutely. Okay, climb the corporate ladder to work closer to him only to become his boss. That's stupid. She probably works at a Burger King. Stupid. That's
Wow.
like, okay, stupid. That's a lie. She just wanted to be a part of this feed. That's not even true. Went into his phone, shared his location, and then deleted the shared location text on his phone so he didn't know. Okay, well, that's stalking, L. Okay, that's stalking.
Yeah.
That's not revenge. Oh my God, we had a big storm come through. My ex lost power. I worked for the utility company and called in a favor to restore his power last.
That's actually
That's good.
That's pretty funny.
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my
What
god.
are the odds, though? Like, I mean, that's actually kind of very coincidental. That,
It's
like,
just
I mean,
like
that is a coincidental moment.
My favorite form of revenge is like these really like micro revenges that could just fuel a fire, not like blow up their whole life, just inconveniences.
Yeah.
As many small inconveniences.
Yeah.
Like the food runner at work.
Yeah.
Don't piss me off.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna give you a harder day.
Yeah.
Every day.
See, that's
that I
the
work
thing,
with you.
That's the thing that I feel like is one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, because I like to psychoanalyze myself every now and again.
It's healthy.
And when people like kind of randomly point out things that I don't necessarily see about myself, and then I kind of like think about it. Like last year, I was called an Aries princess because I'm an Aries. And well, basically because I was minorly inconvenienced, and like and now that I thought about it, it's true. I hate minor inconveniences. They piss me off. Like they really like make my blood boil. Like
me too.
Yeah, I can't stand it. Like
because we set up our day a certain way. We have a calendar.
I was literally,
and if it's erupted, it's stressful.
Yeah, I was literally on my way over here. And I was taking Highland up to the 101, and police were blocking off the other side of Highland going south. And there was a whole lineup. I don't know what was going on. Like the church over there was emptying out some kind of like, I don't know if they were filming something there or what, but like literally there was just like a little police blockade.
The Methodist church.
Yeah, and I said to myself, I would be so mad if I was just sitting there because of this.
Yes.
Thank God I'm going on the other side.
I'd be screaming at their religion. I'd be like, screw the Methodists!
No, and like minor inconvenience, it probably didn't last very long, but like, you know, it was there, and I passed by the whole entire thing, and I was like, that was the thought that was in my head. I was like, oh, I would be so mad. It was just, I was getting mad just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my problem, not to get too deep into it, but my problem with these churches and shit are they should be open at night for unhoused people to sleep in. Mm-hmm. They should be open for us to use the bathrooms if you're walking by and you got to go to the bathroom. They're not paying tax dollars for being a community service, and then they don't do anything for the community, i.e. hold up the traffic.
Well, I don't know if
or let students film there. Like there's this beautiful church in Burbank, and they were like so welcoming when we went and shot season 2 of Valets, my web series, because we were outside in their grounds filming, and the minister came out, and we were like, sorry, and I was like ready to try to like make a donation to the church, because that's what the fucking Catholic Church wanted.
Oh yeah.
They want you to pay them, and this guy's like, no, this church is for the community. You can film here. And I was like, that is some real good shit. And so I went and wrote all these good reviews about the church online.
Yeah.
How like I'm a member of the community and not part of the church, and how revered this church is to me. And I went and wrote all these things because I was just like so impressed that there was still a fucking human out there.
Yeah.
And it was the minister of this church, or the priest, I don't know what his title is there. But like, I was like, now this is the first fucking like religious person I've met that actually seems to be living by it.
Right. Like
in the 36 years that I've been indoctrined into the Catholic Church, going to Catholic schools, living around big, beautiful churches in New York City, trying to film around LA.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of churches are in there for profit, and like, you know, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine literally like just the last 2 days or so, and her kids go to a Catholic school, but they're not Catholic.
Oops. Can you say that again?
Yeah, I said her kids are going to a Catholic school, but they're not Catholic, and they were never baptized, and they're at an age now where like sacraments and things are becoming involved, like First Communion and First Reconciliation, which I think they teach that curriculum, but they don't necessarily get to participate in it because they haven't been baptized, and like they let you know, there's a hierarchy of like,
you just
know,
pay
people,
more if you're not Catholic.
Well, so like there's a hierarchy where like, you know, it's parishioners with service, and like you actually like get a little bit of a discount if you do some type of like service like during the school year for them, or you know what it is, and then it's like non-parishioners, which are them, and they choose to elect the service because there's a little discount on the tuition. But also it's just interesting to think that these kids are experiencing something that all their friends are experiencing, but yet they don't necessarily get to partake in it, you know?
It's interesting.
Yeah. Because I was telling her that when I was growing up, I grew up Catholic, and my parents from kindergarten to 4th grade sent me to a Lutheran school. And so every day I was learning kind of like about what the Lutheran denomination was about, but every Sunday I had to go to Catholic, like Catholic church.
What are the big differences?
I mean, from what I remember, like I just remember it being not as like strict as far as like, it wasn't as what's the word, ritualistic as like a Catholic church would be. Mm-hmm. It was a lot more focused on like telling stories from the Bible, or like kind of like almost like a Bible study, So we used to learn like a lot of Bible verses and things of that nature, and lessons, that we could impart to like our own lives at that point. I mean, in time, obviously I don't remember like what that was, but like I do remember memorizing Bible verses in Lutheran school and like having to recite that on a weekly basis.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I was almost like, I told my parents, because I was trying to get them to come to the services for Lutheran school, because they would have services every now and again. I enjoyed them much more than what I did when I was going to, Catholic church at that point. And, I don't know, just seeing people were like happier. I don't know. It was
interesting.
Yeah. That's what I remember of it. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I sometimes like play with the idea of like cosplaying as a Catholic again and like trying to go ingrain myself in some parish.
Yeah.
And like be like the new girl at the church and then like just see what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a voyeur in the sense that I love like watching these like environments go by and like being in the middle of them. I just got tickets for WonderCon this Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I love going to Anaheim's WonderCon. It's put on by the same people as San Diego Comic-Con. And it's like half indoor, half outdoor, but the outdoor areas are gorgeous.
Okay.
And it's just nerd central, but it's like it's not as big as San Diego Comic-Con and commercials, so it's actually the nerdy people who are there.
Yeah.
And it's like it feels more organic.
Yeah.
And so I try to go every year to this convention just for at least a day to just take it all in. And I feel like going to some church would be the same like itch scratched in my brain, like just to like almost take a trip back to like growing up Catholic, the monthly masses we'd go to, and stuff like that, just to get a sense. But then I'd probably do it one time, being like, "Fuck this, I don't want to be here."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to church. I can't tell you the last time
Should
I went
we
to
go to
church. I mean, I honestly thought about it. I was toying with the idea of doing that like this past year for like midnight mass or something.
Should we go to Easter mass?
And then I was like kind of researching the churches in my area, and I was like, what does Episcopal mean? And then I looked that up, and I was like, oh, that doesn't seem like something I would want to go to.
It doesn't seem like they're gay friendly. What's Episcopal? It doesn't sound very friendly.
It was like Anglican Episcopal, and like it was, I don't know, I can't.
What if we go to the church and you try to seduce the priest?
It would depend on what the priest looked like.
What if we found a hot priest?
Like, I thought about that for a second. I was like, wait, no, that's like.
Am I the devil?
That's
am I the devil?
But like,
I just think like, what a great documentary. We could make a documentary about it.
No, I mean that would be actually kind of funny, but I don't know. That's like almost like going on that like that topic
like, I would
of like, okay,
we're
gonna try to like catfish a priest or like just like trap him.
No, we're not gonna catfish him. We're gonna liberate him.
Okay.
It's the opposite. Similar to how he's freeing souls with baptism from the shackles of hell, of your original sin, okay? We are gonna liberate him from the shackles.
Okay, I feel like there's different like ways that, okay, because I was brought up Catholic, and then...
What if we don't do anything, you just wink at him? What if we both wink?
I don't know what that would...
What if we both wink at him?
Like, incite. And then he'd be like, wait...
You're like, what if you went and got the
contact lens problem? What's going on here?
What if you went and got the Eucharist and you went like this?
Oh my gosh!
What if you got on your knees?
I'm here
and held your mouth open for the Eucharist.
I'm here for the sacrilegiousness of it all. No, but like
and then you looked over and you went, Amen.
Oh God.
What if we went to
funny.
confession?
Ugh.
This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you could go to confession and then just say the most
Nick.
wildest things in the confessional. Like,
Stop. This would be such a good documentary. I would love to watch this movie. The Catholic Church, the Pope would probably send us a letter begging us not to release
like a
it.
cease and desist.
He'd be like, Lindsay, I know you sent me a Christmas card in 2018. We have a relationship. Do not release this documentary.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't even need to like necessarily be us chasing the priest, but it could also be like a fun exploration of sexuality in the church that like is a culture of what you grew up in. And like, I think it's so interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, my memories of church, like when I was growing up, I didn't necessarily enjoy going to mass. So I wanted to do something to since I had to do it, I decided to become an altar server. And so I was like, I want to have like I had a weird little superiority complex. I was like, I'm up there and you're down here and I'm actively doing stuff that you're not and you wish you could be me up here.
Because you were an altar boy?
Yeah. And
What a status.
yeah, I know. I was like, I loved it. And I was like, I just felt like I was like, yeah, like, what are you doing down there? Like,
Wouldn't it be hilariously gay if you were like in the choir and you're like, I'm in the choir.
Yeah.
You know who was in the choir?
who?
Alexandria.
She was?
Yes. She was in the choir. She was a choir girl. Can't you see it?
I can, yeah.
Can't you see her being
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. But also being like innocent and like kind of like being
No,
like,
Alex
well, I mean, but
has
like
never been
not
innocent.
Not innocent, but I mean,
She's
in
never
the
been-
guise of being that like angelic figure, and she
Yes,
wants that
trying to up
attention of like
the posture of it?
Yes, she's
But
like
then
this
she
very,
wants to like, but then she wants the only straight boy in the choir to like her. And guess what? He's not straight. Can't you see her doing that?
Yes,
She was also the type of girl that loved Lance Bass. So,
That's true.
it all adds up.
that's true.
Wait,
look what
oh my God.
happened there.
Maybe in my version of heaven, then, you're the altar boy and Alex is in the choir. And I'm getting extra snacks from the priest.
Who would play these roles?
You guys, it's heaven.
Who'd be oh, okay. I was thinking about this in a movie,
this
and I
is
was
Catholic
like,
heaven.
who would be the dramatization characters of us? So
No, you're there. You're
Okay.
there. Wait, who would represent you in a movie? Have you thought about this?
I don't know. I have, but I haven't. Like
Pedro
I haven't-
Pascal. You're a Pedro Pascal.
I could see that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He has your shape and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see.
And then like all the Hollywood of it all, he'd have like a hot Latin accent, you know?
Yeah, he wouldn't be the Mandalorian.
Yeah. He would be.
No, but yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting thing to think about. Like I was, talking recently about my upbringing and things on this date that I had last Friday, just to kind of get to know this person a little bit better. So we kind of like exchanged stories about growing up, and I told him that I was a altar boy when I was growing up, and then I told him about my late 20s and how I became a go-go boy, and I told him like,
Wait,
low key,
wait.
I was like gonna say like that was gonna be like the name of my autobiography, like during that time was like from altar boy
To go-go boy.
to go-go boy.
My favorite chapter of Nick's life, and this is a whole different episode, is when Nick was a go-go boy.
Yeah, it was scandalous.
What a time.
It was fun, but I mean, it wasn't something that obviously I was doing for money. It was like supplementary. I mean, I was doing it for money, but I was mostly doing it just
to be a hot little thing.
It was fun. Yeah.
Listen,
Experience.
if you've got the body,
Yeah. Might as well
use it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let the people have their show.
Yeah. And if you don't feel inhibition by things, very easily, and
Right.
you are, not saying I'm an extrovert, but I mean, I can be when you get a little couple drinks in me.
You're
so,
an Aries.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
enough
Yeah.
said. Thanks for coming on the pod today.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait
It's a
to have you
lovely day.
back.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, have a great day.
Me too.
Bye, Nick.
Bye.
And that's the end of our episode. I'd love to thank my future Lavender husband, Nick Estrada, for keeping it hilariously real. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit subscribe and leave us a rating. It truly helps support the show and ensures you never miss a juicy moment. And remember, don't bait your priest. It's not right. Bye.